Hey, Andy Hall here again. I want to show you how to get the most beautiful sounding chords on the dobro. Dobro can do something that a lot of instruments can't, and that is play a full chord with vibrato. So not a lot of instruments can do that. It's one of the things that makes this instrument special. And whether you're using it for backup or lead, this sound can be really cool and fill a lot of roles. And it's also not that hard to do, at least on the surface. So we're tuned to a major chord. Getting these major chords with a little bit of vibrato is just a great sound. We can slide into the chords. And we can vibrato them. We can do full 6-string chords. We can do 3-finger pinches. So there's a lot of ways to approach this. The very first thing you want to do, and it seems obvious, but it's often overlooked, is make sure you're perfectly in tune. And with the dobro, we're tuned to a major chord. We tune our thirds just a little bit flat. That is because, well, there's a science behind that, but if you want your chord, especially your bar chord, to sound great, but any chord, you're going to want to tune your B strings just a little bit flat. If you're in another tuning, whatever your major third is of the chord, you're going to want to tune that a touch flat. It's going to make the chord a lot more resonant and a lot more pleasing to the ear. I can go into that in another video, but just for now, you can kind of trust me on that. I tune it, maybe one bar to just maybe the second one starting to flicker on this D'Addario tuner. It's probably 10 cents flat, something like that. So that's going to give you this really lush, consonant sounding chord. Now again, you can use this for backup or you can use it for lead. Probably more likely backup, but it's just such a great sound. So again, you can strum with your thumb pick, strum all 6 strings. More often than not, I'm pinching 3 strings, or even 2, but say 3 for now. And you can pinch any 3 strings. What you're going to want to do after you're perfectly in tune, when you play the chord, you want your bar to be straight, right? And just so make sure your bar is perfectly straight, otherwise it's going to be a little bit out of tune. Then the next step is the tone. So if you're plucking with 3 fingers, it's getting the right touch with the right hand. And that depends on how your picks are shaped. I have mine curled up, if it'll focus. They're curled up a little bit like this over the tip of the finger. They're not totally straight. I don't curl mine the way banjo players do, which is totally over the tip of the finger. It's kind of in between. I have a lot of the pick pushed down onto my finger. I think that gets a better tone, and it's just easier for me to control without tons of pick face going out past the fingertip. There's a little bit, but not a ton. And then you want your hand curled, and you can just practice this. Just getting good tone. With the bar hand, you want just enough pressure so that you're not getting rattling. Although you can do that as an effect sometimes if you want. You can get a little, but for this purpose, just put enough pressure down. You can start it with a rattle, just put enough pressure down so that you get all the notes are clean. Also, after that, you're going to want to work on your vibrato a little bit. Vibrato can be tricky. I generally anchor my pinky and ring finger and use the 3 fingers that hold the bar to move back and forth in relation to the somewhat anchored pinky and ring finger. These fingers aren't smashed down, but they're what provide the anchor to this movement back and forth. And getting that nice even vibrato. You don't want it to be too fast. You don't want, too slow. There's not really necessarily too slow. But just a nice even vibrato is going to sound good. Now you can do some minor chords using open strings. There's a B minor. If I have to play minor chords, sometimes I'll just do a power chord. If it was E minor, I can just play the two E's and the B note, strings 3, 4, and 6. And that's kind of it's a power chord, but it doesn't highlight the major notes of that chord. So if you want an E minor, you can just do that. And if the tonality of the song is happening, then it's going to sound like an E minor, just in that power chord. So again, be right in tune. Take the time to tune your instrument. So and try to tune it the same every time if you can, especially with those flattened B strings. Get the right amount of bar pressure. Tone with the right hand is huge. And then the vibrato. So it seems simple just playing these chords, but there's a huge difference between playing a bar chord and having it sound okay and having it sound beautiful. And all those elements I discussed go into it. So, but this is something that you can use in so many different applications. Again, 3-finger pinches. You can do 2 fingers. So 2 or 3 finger pinches, or strums even with the thumb pick work. All those components go together to make a beautiful sounding chord.